Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. Hope you're doing well. Got a story about a fire that just destroyed a flour mill. I want to bring it to you right now. It's entitled Firefighters Fight Large Fire at Pendleton Flour Mills. Pendleton police asked people to stay away from the mill near Southeast Immigrant Avenue and Southeast 6th Street. Now, what's really interesting is this is actually a rekindle fire. It's out of Oregon. Firefighters battled a fire that destroyed a building at Pendleton Flour Mills in Eastern Oregon. No injuries were reported. The Pendleton Police Department asked people to stay away from the mill near Southeast Immigrant Street Wednesday morning. Dispatchers received a report of black smoke coming from the mill on August 9th. At 2:55 p.m., crews with the Pendleton Fire Department extinguished a small fire and remained on scene to monitor the situation. The fire reignited around 4 a.m. and destroyed a building due to dry grain and a wooden structure inside. Now, I can speak from a little bit of experience here. These structures that are old are very hard to fight fire and do what is called, when you respond to a fire and you extinguish the fire, there's now this phase called mop up where you go through and you make sure that every little bit of that fire is out. And that's exposing timbers, pulling down, let's say like in a residential structure, you'd have drywall, things like that, but really getting in there and looking for what's called extension of fire. And it's very hard in these larger factories, especially these older factories, because the different types of building construction where you have a wall on top of a wall on top of a wall, and there could be times where it's very deceiving. Quite frankly, I don't want to come to any conclusions here. Definitely don't want to armchair quarterback the great firefighters of Pendleton, but it is very, very hard to what's it called, spot every little bit of fire sometimes in these older structures. We have a grain elevator that went up about 40 years ago in our whole hometown, and it is absolutely insane, especially in flour mills or grain mills where a dust can actually be quite explosive. It says right here, as of 10:55 a.m., Pendleton police said crews were able to knock down the flames and were focused on monitoring hotspots. A total of 8 agencies are assisting the Pendleton Fire Department. Although the building is a total loss, this will be an ongoing emergency situation due to the amount of grain that is slowly burning, said the Pendleton police chief. Now, I got some photos here to show you. So another thing I want to point out is this is yet one more building that has now been lost to fire that produces food, right? And this isn't like, oh, it's the end of the world, we're going into food shortages because of this one building. But I want people to realize that every single time, and it's getting insane, how many structures have been affected by fire, that now we have yet one less structure that can produce, or facility that can produce food. And that's why I think it's very important to understand where we are in our world right now with our food supply and how fragile it is. To say that this is a loss it's not even the right word. It's every single time we lose one of these. And not only that, it's how many jobs are lost every time one of these facilities goes down. And in towns all over the country, some of these facilities that are burning down are the largest employer of that town. Now, I'm not saying this one was, but think about this, the history. This mill dates back to 1910. To say that, many towns were built around these grain and flour facilities all across the U.S. And to watch them burn down is actually quite sad. But not only that, what's the impact on our food supply? So I wanted to show you this because I thought this was breaking and very important and timely for this day and age. And I want to thank the people on Twitter that brought this to my attention. And if you haven't followed me on Twitter, here it is, Economic Ninja. It's at Economy Ninja on Twitter if you want to follow me there. And I want to thank you so much for bringing me this. So I'm going to go ahead and link the story in the description of the video so you guys can take a look at it. And if you guys aren't storing up food, I would highly, highly suggest it. Going down and buying canned goods right now, very important. And if you don't have any emergency food and that's something you want to start storing, I have a link for that. I'll put it in the description below. All right, guys, that being said, I thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.